Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that's going to help you completely ace that equine worker interview.
That's right.
We are going so far beyond just your basic tips today.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be in depth.
This is like the masterclass using all the RoleCatcher resources.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have these resources.
Like we've got the Equine Worker Career Guide,
Right.
the interview guide, and we're even going to touch on like how RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer for you as you prepare for this interview.
Definitely.
It's amazing how much insight they pack into these things.
Yeah.
Before we even get to the questions, did you know that the equine industry is like rapidly evolving right now?
Oh, it's changing all the time.
There's so much new tech, so many new training methods. It's not just about like loving horses anymore. You need medical knowledge. You need to understand their behavior.
Absolutely.
It's like a whole other level.
You said it, and the career guide really emphasizes that blend of skills you need.
Yeah.
You're not just a caretaker, you're a trainer.
Right. A health advocate.
Yeah.
Almost a detective when it comes to spotting issues.
Well, for sure. And speaking of spotting issues,
Yeah.
the guide doesn't like shy away from the challenges either.
Right.
Like the long hours.
The long hours.
The physically demanding work.
Right. It can be tough.
I have a friend who runs their own horse training business, and like their dedication
Yeah.
is just incredible.
It really is.
But you see those horses thriving.
Yeah.
And it makes it all worthwhile.
Totally. And it's that kind of passion that's really going to resonate with interviewers.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to help you showcase today.
That's what we're here for.
So are you ready to dive into some practice questions?
Bring them on. Let's start with a classic. What inspired you to pursue a career as an equine worker?
All right. So that's a really common question.
Yeah.
But don't underestimate it.
Yeah.
They're not just looking for like a generic, I love horses.
Right.
They want to see the spark, the specific experience that really ignited your passion.
Exactly. Like the career guide has a really good point about this,
What's that?
saying that you volunteered at a rescue
Okay.
or took a specific horse care course that adds weight to your answer.
Oh, for sure.
It shows you've gone beyond just a casual interest.
Right. You're serious about this.
What's your story that makes you stand out?
Yeah, what is it?
What is it? And think about how that story connects to the specific role you're interviewing for.
That's a good point.
If it's a training-focused position,
Yeah.
you're going to want to highlight those experiences that demonstrate your understanding of horse behavior and training techniques.
Makes sense.
All right, let's get into a trickier one.
Okay.
How do you handle a difficult or aggressive horse?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is a good one. So first and foremost,
Safety always comes first.
safety first.
Yes.
But interviewers also want to see that you can handle those challenging situations with a cool head
Right.
and an understanding of horse behavior.
Absolutely. The career guide really emphasizes that.
Yeah, it's not about dominating the horse.
No.
It's about knowing how to de-escalate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever used techniques like positive reinforcement
Okay.
or pressure and release?
Right.
Now's the time to mention those specifics.
Definitely. And be ready for those follow-up questions.
Yeah.
They might ask you about a specific scenario, like how you'd handle a horse that's biting or kicking.
Right.
So think about how you would assess the situation, maintain safety, and address the underlying cause of that behavior.
That's a really good point. Okay, let's shift gears to a question about overall care.
Right.
How do you ensure the health and welfare of horses?
This is where you can really showcase all that knowledge that you've got from the career guide, feeding, grooming, exercise routines. It's all connected.
Right.
But don't just list tasks.
Yeah.
Explain your process, your attention to detail.
Yes. And I love that the guide mentions the value of additional certifications,
Oh, yeah.
even if they're not required, like first aid for horses, specialized hoof care. Those show commitment.
They do.
Have you considered any of those?
Yeah, those certifications can really set you apart, especially if you're just starting out. They demonstrate a willingness to go above and beyond.
For sure. Okay, this next question might throw some people off.
Yeah.
Describe a time you had to work with a horse exhibiting unusual behavior.
Okay.
How did you approach the situation?
So this is all about showing off those observation skills and your problem-solving abilities. Think back to a time when you noticed a horse was off.
Yeah.
Did you change your approach?
Right.
Consult with a vet. Those details matter.
And don't forget about the mental aspect.
Oh, of course.
A horse that's anxious or stressed is going to behave differently.
Absolutely.
Maybe you noticed a change in their eating habits or their interaction with other horses.
Yeah.
Did you take steps to address those underlying issues?
That's important.
That's what they want to know.
Yeah. They're looking for someone who sees the horse as a whole being, not just a training tool.
For sure.
And that brings us to a crucial aspect of this career: understanding and managing the various stages of a horse's development.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because the career guide actually touches on that, right?
They do.
It's not just about training a horse for a specific discipline.
Right.
It's about supporting their well-being throughout their entire life.
Exactly. So be prepared to discuss your knowledge of horse development from foals to senior horses.
Okay.
And think about how your approach would differ based on the horse's age and stage of training.
It's fascinating how much depth there is to this career path.
It really is.
It's not just about riding.
Right.
It's about a whole ecosystem of care and understanding.
Absolutely. And that's something that we're going to explore further as we go through more of these interview questions.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's take a moment to talk about how RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers for these specific roles that you're going for.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because even with all this great prep, sometimes you need that extra little edge.
For sure.
So tell us more about those AI tools.
Well, one of the most impressive features is their AI resume tailoring.
Okay.
You just upload your resume and job description, and the AI analyzes both
Oh, wow.
to suggest targeted improvements.
So it's like having a resume expert in your pocket.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that it pulls insights from the career guide.
Oh, wow.
So if the job description emphasizes horse behavior knowledge,
Yeah.
the AI will suggest highlighting your experience with positive reinforcement or your understanding of equine psychology.
It's like having a personal career coach, but one that's available 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hear they also have AI feedback
They do.
for practicing your answers.
Yes, you can record yourself answering common interview questions, and their AI will analyze your response, giving you feedback on your clarity, conciseness, and overall impact.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It takes all the guesswork out of interview prep.
Right.
But before we get too carried away
Yeah.
with these amazing AI tools, let's get back to those practice questions.
All right.
What else should our listeners be prepared for?
Let's see. There are a lot of good ones.
Sure.
All right, let's jump back into those interview questions.
Okay.
You know, one thing that really struck me in the career guide is the emphasis on long-term career growth.
Yeah.
Even for entry-level roles,
Right.
showing that you're thinking ahead is a major plus.
It's like even if you're starting at the bottom,
Right.
you're already picturing yourself moving up the ranks.
Yeah. And the guide even talks about like specializing maybe in training or breeding or even starting your own equine business.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
And speaking of gaining experience,
Yeah.
the guide highlights how valuable volunteering internships or even like regularly attending horse shows can be.
Oh, absolutely.
It all adds depth to your journey,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps you answer that what inspired you. Question authentic.
Right. It all ties together.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Showing the interviewer how your experiences,
Right.
even those outside of paid work,
Mm-hmm.
have shaped your passion.
Exactly.
Okay, ready for another question?
Get me.
This one's a bit more technical.
Okay.
How do you assess the physical and mental condition of a horse before and after training?
That's a crucial one.
Mm-hmm.
You need to showcase a solid understanding of equine behavior and physiology.
Okay.
Think about subtle signs,
Yeah,
changes in their gait, demeanor, appetite.
right.
Even their poop can tell a story.
That's true. And don't forget about the mental side.
Oh, of course.
A stressed horse
Mm-hmm.
won't perform well
Right.
and could be a risk of injury.
For sure. And the guide actually mentions techniques like groundwork exercises and desensitization training to help with that.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
Groundwork exercises help build trust and communication from the ground up,
Exactly.
while desensitization gradually introduces the horse to potentially scary stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had experience with either of these techniques?
Yeah, that's a good question to think about.
It's those specific details that paint a picture for the interviewer.
For sure.
Okay, let's say they ask, how do you handle a horse that's nervous or anxious during training or competition?
Okay.
This seems like a tricky one.
It is, but it's a really good opportunity to highlight your patience and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Think about specific calming techniques that you've used.
Okay.
Maybe deep breathing exercises, speaking in a soothing voice, or even just giving the horse a moment to regroup.
It's almost like you're a therapist for the horse.
In a way, yeah. And the guide mentions that a calm rider is just as important as a calm horse.
Oh, that's true.
A nervous rider can transfer that energy right to the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to reassure and coach a nervous rider
Yeah,
is a valuable skill.
for sure. Okay, let's tackle a question about safety.
Okay.
This is a big one.
Right.
They might ask you, how do you ensure the safety of both riders and horses during training or competition?
This is where you demonstrate your knowledge of protocols and procedures.
Right.
Think about proper equipment,
Mm-hmm.
arena safety checks,
Yeah.
clear communication between riders and handlers.
Right.
It all matters.
It really does. And don't be afraid to go beyond the basics.
Okay.
Mention emergency action plans, first aid training,
Mm-hmm.
your familiarity with different types of safety equipment.
Okay.
Show them that you're proactive and thinking ahead.
That's a great tip.
Mm.
Okay, last question before we wrap things up.
All right, shoot.
How do you handle a horse that's aggressive towards other horses or humans?
Oh, that's a serious one.
Now this one sounds serious.
It is, and it requires a blend of experience and a deep understanding of horse behavior.
Okay.
The first priority is always safety, removing the horse from the situation,
Wow.
identifying potential triggers.
Yeah.
It's about staying calm under pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And the guide mentions the importance of working with a professional trainer or behaviorist
Absolutely.
in these situations.
Right.
It shows you're not afraid to seek help when needed.
And it's crucial to remember that punishment isn't the answer.
Right.
Addressing the underlying cause of the aggression,
Mhm.
whether it's fear, pain, or lack of socialization, is key.
It's like being a detective trying to understand what's driving the behavior
Totally.
and finding a solution that benefits both the horse and the people around it.
Exactly. And speaking of finding solutions,
Yes.
let's circle back to RoleCatcher and how their AI tools can help you craft those perfect answers for specific job roles.
Yes. Tell us more about how those tools can give us an edge.
Well, we touched on their AI resume tailoring,
Mhm.
but they also have this incredible feature for practicing interview answers.
Okay.
You record yourself answering common questions,
Right.
and their AI analyzes your response, giving you personalized feedback.
So it's like having a personal interview coach, but without the awkward silences.
What kind of feedback does it give?
Yeah, what kind of feedback?
It analyzes things like clarity, conciseness, and even the tone of your voice.
Oh, wow.
It might suggest using stronger action verbs, cutting out unnecessary filler words, or even adjusting your delivery to sound more confident.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
It takes all the guesswork out of interview prep.
It does.
And since it's tailored to the specific role you're applying for,
Right.
it can really help you stand out.
Exactly. It's like having a secret weapon in your job search arsenal.
I like it.
But remember, these AI tools are just that, tools.
Yeah.
They can enhance your preparation, but ultimately it's your passion, your knowledge, and your experience that will shine through in that interview.
So true. It's like having a fancy saddle won't make you a better rider
Exactly.
if you haven't put in the hours of practice.
You got it. So as we move into the final part of this deep dive,
Okay.
let's focus on some key takeaways and a thought-provoking question to leave you with.
Sounds good. Okay, so as we wrap up this Equine Worker interview prep deep dive,
Yeah.
let's highlight some of the key takeaways.
Sounds good. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Remember, showcasing your passion is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
But back it up with specifics.
Mm-hmm.
Detail those experiences, the knowledge that you have, that drive to keep learning.
Yeah.
That's what sets you apart.
Yeah, those sample questions that we went through,
Mm-hmm.
those were like golden examples.
Oh, yeah.
Generic answers
Right.
won't cut it.
Nope.
You really got to show them that you've gone beyond just liking horses.
For sure.
You're actively pursuing knowledge and experience.
Yeah. And don't forget about those amazing AI tools from RoleCatcher.
Oh, right.
Their resume tailoring and interview practice feedback can be a game changer.
For sure.
Seriously, check them out.
It's like having a personal coach and a resume writer all rolled into one.
I know. It's awesome.
But before we send you off to conquer those interviews,
Yeah.
let's leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the technical skills,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the emotional side of this job?
That's a great point. You know, working with horses, you're going to form bonds, deep ones,
Yeah,
and the career guide doesn't shy away from the tougher aspects of the job.
right.
How would you handle a horse getting sick or needing to be rehomed or even, well, we know it's a reality of the field.
It's heavy stuff, but it's important to think about.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those strong emotions while still staying professional and focused on the horse's well-being?
It's a question worth pondering
Mm-hmm.
because that empathy, that ability to navigate those difficult situations,
Yeah.
that's what makes a truly exceptional equine worker.
So as you prep for those interviews,
Yeah.
remember, it's not just about what you know, it's about who you are.
Right.
That compassion, that dedication, that's what will truly shine through.
Best of luck to all of our future equine workers out there. Go out there and rock those interviews.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. It's a fantastic resource.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive, everyone.